Is it a coincidence that I put this review out on a Friday? No. No, it's not. What's going on, everybody? It's the Granddad of Granddad Woolly, and you are here again for another edition of Woolly Reviews Film Data Comedy Edition Netflix Pick. Today we got a comedy special review today, and we're going to be talking about the comedy special from a comedian slash actor who really needs no introduction, but I gotta do this shit anyway. He's popular from the movie Friday and Rush Hour and all the other shit he's done, and he's finally back in stand-up form. He went back to his roots, and now we're going to talk about his new shit he just dropped, talking about Chris Tucker Live. Straightforward, nothing flashy. I see, Chris. Okay, it's cool, I guess. I mean, whatever. But like I said, this is the new comedy special from comedian Chris Tucker, and he's been on the road doing shows for a while now, a couple years. And I guess this is finally his filmed, televised Netflix special version of that actual tour, or a show from that tour. It was filmed in Atlanta, Georgia. I didn't know he was doing it here, and I'm here. I could have went to the fucking show, but I don't know shit about shit half the goddamn time. But it's all right. I saw it on here. So now we're going to talk about this comedy special and see if Chris Tucker can still bring the funny when it comes to the stand-up style. Let's talk about the shit. Now, if you've never seen any Chris Tucker movies or even of his earlier stand-up, he's a real animated and really out there and very energetic type of comedian. He really uses that to his advantage, and he's done no different in this comedy special, but we do see probably a more mature and grown-up version of Chris Tucker, which makes sense because he's probably in his 40s right about now, and he's been through a lot of stuff, and he's been out of the actual limelight and spotlight for some time. He, did a lot of movies, especially, the Rush Hour movies, which probably his most commercially successful, but everybody knows him from his Friday, his breakout movie as the character Smokey, and that's something that he probably still gets fucking talked about to this day. So now in this comedy special, Tucker actually lets us look into his life and lets us know what's been going on with all the stuff that he's dealt with as far as, the whole Friday ordeal and his tax situation and his friendship with Michael Jackson, the late great Michael Jackson, as well as a whole bunch of stuff that he went through with his family in a very comedic and very just unique way that he brings comedy. And on this special, Chris Tucker is fucking hilarious. He has not lost a step. He actually really, I think as far as stand-up goes, he's actually gotten a little bit better. Now, some of the jokes on here aren't always the best, but the majority of the jokes on here are very funny. And I got a little bit of a hint of Eddie Murphy coming off of him when I was watching this. Like, the way that he kind of, carried himself at certain times in the special, I really got that look and sound and feel of like an Eddie Murphy stand-up. Which isn't a bad thing at all, because Eddie Murphy is one of the best stand-up comedians of all time. But that's good to see that Chris Tucker kind of has that essence, but he still brings his own charm. The jokes on here range everything from his personal life, like I said, from his tax situation to his relationship with Michael Jackson, to, him being, the breadwinner in his family, and his family coming out of the woodwork, always asking for money, and him growing up, and how his parents were. A lot of stuff that's really just, close to him, and, stuff that everybody can relate to, but it's just fucking hilarious. He does a few impressions on here. He does Michael Jackson, he does Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and all of them are very, very good. He's spot on with his impressions, and his just approach to this entire special was well thought out and well crafted. It's about an hour and a half long, but when you're watching it, it starts off kind of slow, but it really picks up within the first 20, probably to 30 minutes. It really just starts to take off then. And from there, he's really firing on all cylinders. And as far as the jokes are concerned, like I said, I would say 80% of them are fucking hilarious. There's a bit on there where he's talking about when he got whooped by his dad, and him and his brother had to go downstairs on the couch, and it was this little speech that his brother gave him that was hilarious. It was another bit on there where he was talking about him being on the football team and he was terrible, and they put him in the game one time and what happened. That's just a couple of examples, but he's hit a lot of different aspects of his life, and they all fucking are just hilarious, and they work. And this special was something that's sort of a long time coming, like the tagline says, because we haven't got any Chris Tucker material in some time, and which is actually beneficial probably to this actual special, because now he's got a lot of shit to talk about. He does kind of spread his jokes a little bit thin. His timing is really good, but the fact that he sort of stays on the same subject or around the same subject means that he kind of likes to keep things, not too far out there. He keeps it pretty personal on here, but that's what makes it so funny, because you can actually get not only a sense of Chris's life growing up to now, also, but he actually knows what he's talking about, and he doesn't have to stretch for material because he already has material that he's basically lived, which is a good thing. But some people may think that the jokes are probably a little too, probably stretched out or thinned out, which makes them sometimes not as funny, but some of them are funny. He is very animated. Sometimes that animated style on him really just complements the joke, and sometimes it doesn't really do anything for the joke. It just depends. But for the most part, he really does deliver on this comedy special. And it's refreshing to see Chris Tucker doing more material. You know, he hasn't been doing movies lately, or not as many as he used to do back around the 90s and early 2000s. And to see him back on the actual road and doing shows and doing material and going back to his craft is really cool. And I wish we can see more Chris Tucker movies or specials. But if this is just the first one of many, I'm down for it. But I really like this special. The only thing that I have to say about this special that I didn't really like, I would have to say, is that it did start slow. And some of the jokes on here were a little bit amiss. But for the most part, it was shot well. The flow of it went well, and for an hour and a half, there were way more good jokes than bad jokes. There really weren't any bad jokes, just some that really didn't hit too hard. But some of the jokes that did hit, and they were really, really funny, they had me fucking dying laughing. And it just shows that even after all these years, and the change of comedy and the style and everything like that, Chris Tucker can still come in and bring a great show and make you laugh from start to finish. And I'm just saying, you need to go watch this, especially if you're a Chris Tucker fan and you've been waiting for some new Chris Tucker stuff. Go watch this fucking special, because you will be laughing your ass off. And I'm not fucking joking about that. But Chris Tucker brought it. I mean, I ain't got nothing more to say. The nigga's still funny. After all these years, he ain't lost a step. But we need another fucking Friday. I know you sick of this shit, Chris, but just do it. I know you're not gonna do it, but just think about the fans, okay? Just make a fucking Friday fucking short movie then or some shit. Do something to make it appease us, please. So my final verdict, I'm not saying that Chris Tucker Live is an overall well-written, well-put-together, very, very funny comedy special. Mine has a couple jokes here and there and a slow start. All I'm saying is that Chris Tucker still has it after all these years, and we don't see him that often. When we do, it's good to know that he can bring us some really quality material and funny stuff when he does show up. If he gets more, you know, into the movies again and more into comedy specials, I hope he keeps his momentum up, because it's refreshing to see him. His jokes are spot on for the most part. His impressions are really good, especially the Michael Jackson and the Bill Clinton. Those are the two funniest impressions on here. And he just really gives us a look into his life and does it his way, where we can not only understand what he's been going through, but we can also laugh at it because he brings it in such a comedic way. So all I gotta say is that Chris Tucker Live, for me, is 100% Granddad approved. Definitely go check it out. It's on Netflix right now. If you ain't got Netflix, get it. Get a free trial. Just have it for 30 days and fucking close the shit just to watch this shit. It's worth it. And then keep Netflix, maybe some other shit on it. But fuck it. I'm not trying to sponsor Netflix. They ain't paying my ass. But that's all I gotta really say. Chris Tucker Live is Granddad approved, and it's very fucking funny. So go watch the shit right now. Flip it. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and drop a comment. Tell me what you think of Chris Tucker Live if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's hilarious. It's on Netflix. You ain't gotta pay nothing but $8. And if you don't got Netflix, like I said, get a free trial just to watch the shit. But I'm telling you, Chris Tucker still has it. And you know, hey, I got nothing to say bad about this thing. Just watch it. It's fucking hilarious. Previous videos on the side, as well as my music video. And in the description, I also have another review today. I did a co-review with the homie Anthony Fantano over at the Needle Drop for the 12 Reasons to Die 2 album. So go check that out. And all this other shit, just check all this shit out. Get some fucking Granddad in your life for Friday. And I got nothing more to say. Oh, gaming channel. Watch that too. So, previous video, music video, other review, gaming channel. I don't know if I'm pointing at the right spot. And then all that other shit. And plus watch Chris Tucker Live. So I ain't got nothing more to say. So until next time I take my leave, Granddaughter, Chris Tucker Live. The shit is funny. But we gonna still bother you about Friday to the day that you probably die. Or do it. But that's what's just gonna happen. You gotta just live with that, Chris. I'm out of here.